In the last video, we looked at some of the most famous examples of musicians covering another artist's song, oftentimes making it infinitely more popular or higher quality, and so on. Today we'll be adding to that list with more covers, this time going over some of the less obvious cases and discussing their unique stories.
I will make you her.
Originally recorded as a demo by Robert Hazard, Girls Just Wanna Have Fun came across as a snide, resentful dig at women these days. All they want to do is have fun, eat hot chip, and lie. That demo didn't really go anywhere until the hit in the making made its way to Cyndi Lauper through Rick Chertoff, a friend of Robert Hazard. Chertoff connected the two singer-songwriters who revised the song to be from a woman's perspective. Cyndi chose to switch the first and second verse and imbued it with her over-the-top charisma. Despite making contributions to it, Lauper was actually denied a writing credit on the song, later being served a cease and desist for claiming to have a hand in it, with Robert Hazard saying, "She actually had the guts to say in interviews that she wrote part of it. We sent her a cease and desist order. She did come to me with one line. I used to say, all my girls are going to walk into the sun, and her line was, I want to be the one to walk in the sun." The original version was a guy talking about his girlfriends. A gender switch is a common thing, and no one takes credit for it. Chertoff then took Lauper's vocals and infused them with the wonderfully gaudy 80s production, making an unforgettable earworm of the era. And no matter who has or does not have writing credits, we all know this is Cyndi Lauper's song.
Girls just wanna have fun.
Originally recorded in Danish by singer Liz Sorenson, the song you always hear in TJ Maxx, Torn, was famously recorded by Natalie Imbruglia in 1997. The cover is essentially the same, minus a charming, albeit a little dated, smooth jazz-like guitar interlude in the original, and adding the memorable guitar outro. I will say I do find Natalie Imbruglia's vocals to be more relaxed sounding, like she's processing the aftermath of the end of the relationship, whereas the original singer sounded much more distressed, like she was still in the midst of the relationship's undoing. So there you go. Hopefully this revelation doesn't make you run out of faith. Now we've got to talk about Talk. It's My Life is a definitive 80s synth pop track, perfectly accented with a kind of dark, moody energy that makes it both a perfect pop song while also adding an existential crisis to give it a bit of an edge. This thing just has so much character, from the plucky, explorative bass to the iconic synth hits in the chorus. The sound mimicking tropical birds is also really compelling here, as I feel it adds a sense of wildness that gives it an undeniable humanity. This is a pop song, but it's also a mantra, a proclamation. It peaked at number 31 on the Billboard chart, marking the beginning of a modest career for Talk. Then came ska powerhouse No Doubt, who injected the song with a cool, carefree energy that propelled It's My Life to number 10. The story here is that Gwen Stefani was in the middle of her solo career, but wanted to release something under No Doubt. After much discussion, they settled on a cover, and the choice was between It's My Life, Don't Change by INXS, and Depeche Mode's A Question of Lust. The bird sounds are replaced with a noise reminiscent of crashing ocean waves, which gives this some energy, turning it into a full-on girl power anthem a la Just a Girl. Personally, I find the less clean production on Talk's version to be a bit more compelling, but don't you forget, I'm more than happy that No Doubt's cover is here to stay. Even though we all know there is no overshadowing Queen Patti LaBelle, there's also no doubt that the cover of her group LaBelle's song Lady Marmalade by Christina Aguilera, Pink, Maya, and Lil' Kim for Moulin Rouge was an absolute smash. A fun fact about the original is that Patti LaBelle and the rest of the group actually had no idea about the salacious real meaning behind the lyrics, both being very naive and not knowing French, but she did know they had a huge hit. Director of Moulin Rouge, Baz Luhrmann, actually said the original idea was to bring female singers from all different countries, but eventually came to do different genres instead. What resulted was peak early 2000s sleazy fun. Christina Aguilera, Maya, and Pink do not let you forget about their vocal prowess for a single second, and Lil' Kim's verse is a welcome addition here. Still doesn't touch the original for me, which to be fair is near impossible, but definitely worth noting. Originally released as a quick-paced, snappy soul track, Tainted Love was recorded by singer Gloria Jones. Making no noise upon release, it somehow made its way into the hands of Richard Searling, a British DJ who introduced it to English clubgoers as part of the Northern Soul movement, with synth group Soft Cell among the newly enlightened. They started out with covering it at their live shows, which was met with such a positive reaction, they eventually recorded the version we all know and love in 1981 to record-breaking success. The flashy, almost sinister-sounding synth makes the perfect companion to the incredible vocal performance from singer Mark Almond, who brings a desperation that really elevates the song and drives the point home. Tainted love. When the Arrows singer Alan Merrill wrote I Love Rock and Roll in response to the Rolling Stones' It's Only Rock and Roll But I Like It, he knew he had a hit on his hands, but apparently nobody else did because it was banished to B-sides until later releases. The whole idea was very meta, with Merrill remembering, I was so sure I Love Rock and Roll was gonna be a hit for the Arrows that I thought, well, when we have a hit with it, it's gonna be a hit within a hit. A fictional hit coming out of the chorus with the kids singing it as their favorite song in the verse of the song. The group performed the track on TV and impressed the producer so much that they landed themselves their own weekly show where Joan Jett first heard this banger. After a more true to the original cover by the Sex Pistols in 1979, she soon covered the tune with her own band, the Blackhearts, in 1981, giving it that extra boost that elevated the song to its place in music history. The original is solid, but nothing beats that screaming guitar combined with Joan Jett's snarky, confidently cool vocals that defines that anthem for so many of us. Mystifyingly, it seems Joan Jett's cover wasn't even Alan Merrill's favorite version of the song, with him on record saying, everyone knows Joan's version of rock and roll, but ironically, that wasn't the one that made me a lot of money. I do think Joan did a great job on it, but I think my favorite is LA Guns' take. There are so many covers out there that I probably haven't even heard half of them, but I'm glad I wrote it, which, for me at least, that answer just brings more questions than anything. Despite what you may have been led to believe, Valerie was never a swingin' 50s jukebox hit, but rather a blues rock number from 2006 with a sprinkling of ska by the Liverpool-based indie band The Zutons. Sunny and a little psychedelic, the piece was written and named for Valerie Starr, a makeup artist who dated lead singer Dave McCabe. Think of all the butterfly effects in this story. Valerie was arrested for driving on a suspended license just a week before she was planning on leaving America to go to the UK to be with McCabe. Upon hearing the bad news, McCabe wrote the song for her in about 20 minutes while he was driving to his mom's house. Time goes on, Amy Winehouse is in a session with producer Mark Ronson, and she starts humming this song that she can't get out of her head. As sweet as the original is, there is no touching the pure gold Amy Winehouse and Mark Ronson made together. Ronson was growing frustrated in his attempts to find a song for her on his album Version, since he wanted it to be soul covers of more modern guitar records, but said Winehouse only listened to things made before 1967. He finally told her to give Valerie a try, saying, "I wasn't sure how it would work, but she went into the studio and tried it. I loved it." When he combined Winehouse's instantly recognizable voice with the beat from Town Called Malice by The Jam, he made magic. And I think we should all remember what McCabe thinks of the cover. It's the biggest compliment in the world to have Amy Winehouse cover your song and for it to become massive. She was an unbelievable talent. Some people have said to us, "Oh, but they stole your song." The honest answer is, I love it. Amy absolutely nailed it. There's room in this world for two versions of Valerie. We hope you enjoyed another round of When the Cover Overshadows the Original, and if enough people want it, we will do a part 3. Check out my Twitch channel, and have a nice day. Thank you for watching that video. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can follow my Twitch channel at Alpha Media, support me on Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.